Another week and another new chapter of Hunter x Hunter. And it's good to know that we'll have a new chapter next week because of the final page. There was no, the series will be on hiatus next week, or an indefinite hiatus. It's good to know that Hunter x Hunter will be back once again next week as well. So, chapter 362 of Hunter x Hunter is here, and as always, it's a wordy chapter. Oh, man. Okay, there's one thing about Hunter x Hunter that I love and hate in a way. I love it more than hate. But one of the big things about Hunter x Hunter is the fact that when you're reading a chapter, it feels like you're reading a novel. Because there's just so much dialogue. Like, let's just look at the first page, okay? Let's just look at this first page. Look at all of the dialogue. That is a lot of dialogue for characters in a manga chapter, and that's just the first page. Just Hunter x Hunter is ridiculous, and it takes so much time to reread these chapters to kind of analyze and understand what is going on, because the series can be rather confusing, but it's not just that it's confusing in the way it's written, it's the fact that when you have hiatuses thrown on top of that, it can make it very confusing because you might forget about certain key details that you would have remembered if the series was an ongoing series that came out every single week and never went on like a year break. Now, like I said, Togashi, we don't know if this man was playing around or if it really was his back. I'm not going to get into that discussion because I don't want to deal with it. But the point is, regardless of whatever was going on with Togashi, I'm going to look past that. It just, many, myself included, probably forgot about a few things that probably happened a long time ago, like 2 or maybe 3 years ago, and I want to kind of do, once again, a refresher like I did with last week's chapter review. Now, I'm not going to say the exact same things I said, but I want to do a refresher to some of the things that many might have forgotten when it came to the princes. For instance, the individual princes, their personalities, what they like or what they want to do. I want to kind of discuss them to kind of get everybody to understand why their, spirit beasts look like they do. Because throughout this chapter, the main point of what Togashi was trying to do was introduce all the spirit beasts, or most of the important spirit beasts, and any that haven't really been shown are probably saved for later for some shock factor. But the spirit beasts that were introduced are like the main players so far a part of this war between the princes, and also it narrows it down in this chapter that apparently it's going to mainly be a dispute between the top 5 princes, the 5 oldest, while the others, since they're just so young, or some of them just don't care about anything, or they don't care to win, or they don't have the potential to win, mainly they're kind of thrown out of the equation. Only the top 5 really have a chance of being the victor, and we already know what Kurapika, his prince he's protecting, wants to do. The mother's like, let's get the fuck out of here. So when you look at it like that, obviously the main people that are competing to win are the top 5. The others don't really have a chance in hell, most likely, unless there's something very crazy that happens, which could be the case because this is Togashi and this is Hunter x Hunter, and so something ridiculous could happen to any character that's just completely shocking. I mean, let's think about the Chimera Ant arc for a second, so just, think about that. So, anyways, basically, the main point of the chapter, like I said, introducing Spirit Beast and kind of letting us know who the main players of this arc are going to be. And it's like Togashi was kind of making it to where the plot was more contained, letting us know that it's not going to be this big grand scale thing with all these people going in at once. It's going to be kind of smaller, condensed a little bit with 5 princes going at each other, and the other Spirit Beasts are mainly just going to be there to kind of shake things up a bit, like shake the tree. So, anyways, let's talk about just some of the groundwork when it comes to these princes, okay, and also the first page. So the first page, the main point of it is to kind of let us know, which I already discussed last week, about Spirit Beast, how the individual, for instance, how they look, or how they are, or how they act, like the way the Spirit Beasts look or act, it's thanks to the person that is the host. For instance, let's look at, the actual Spirit Beast when it comes to, I'm trying to think of a good one. Let's think of the one that was introduced with Hulkenberg. I think that is, his name is, I have it up here, yeah, Hulkenberg. That's how you pronounce it, I think. So Hulkenberg, as we know, he had like that gargoyle thing on his shoulders that was just looking at his father, and he said he was backing out. Now, the design and the abilities of these creatures, these spirit beasts, are determined thanks to the personality of their host. So Hulkenberg, the way he is, the way he acts and all of that, his personality, so to say, is what determined that Spirit Beast entire design. And it's very similar to, Yu Yu Hakusho. If you've ever watched Yu Yu Hakusho or read Yu Yu Hakusho, then you will know kind of the concept of Spirit Beast and kind of how they are, why they act like they do or whatever. It's very similar in design. There's some differences, obviously, but it's very similar. And so basically the first page was kind of laying out the groundwork of why some of these Spirit Beasts look so grotesque or weird, or why they just look so deformed and different. Like, what the hell? How can you look so ugly? Just mainly, that's what the first page is for. Letting us know why they look like they do. Getting us prepped for these crazy designs that Togashi was preparing us for later in this chapter. And so that's about it. Anyways, let's kind of do some groundwork. I want to actually scroll through the chapter a bit. I want to get to the princess's, Spirit Beast. I want to talk about that before I get into the other details. So, basically, one of the big things here, we have a Spirit Beast that is shown with a frog. We see this frog Spirit Beast with tires, like these wheels, with like spiked wheels or whatever, like the hubcaps are like, spikes. I don't know what those tires are exactly called. It reminds me of something from, like a ancient Renaissance era or whatever. But basically, you see a frog that has like some form of like weird pipe things coming out of its back, and it has wheels, and it's like rolling around. It even does a croak sound like a frog. So that is confirmed a frog. It isn't like a lizard or something. Maybe it has a shape, a head, maybe kind of similar to a lizard. It looks more like a frog to me. But it could be like a lizard combined, depending on how this dude is. And the reason why the Spirit Beast looks like it does is because of the man's personality and how he does certain things. Let me explain. So this dude's, actually girl, I don't know why I'm calling this dude an actual dude. It's actually a girl. This is a she. Fucking forgive me. Fuck. Like, Togashi, fuck, man. Yeah, I am so sorry. I mean, this person with the frog, Spirit Beast, Guardian Spirit Beast, is actually a she. I don't know why I was saying a dude. Anyways, with that out of the way, the person's name is, Tupa? These names, all these princes' names are fucking weird. So, if I say their names wrong, don't execute me, okay? The names are weird. Like, we have someone, we have a girl called Tyson, okay? We have a fucking girl called Tyson. And then unless that's a dude, I don't fucking know. Look at Tuba Pa or whatever. Anyways, you have Benjamin, you have Camilla, you have Zhang, you have the main prince that's the big start of it all, like Tserriednich or fuck me. And then you have Hulkenberg, Cell, like, who the fuck names herself Cell? And then, Momozi, just, you have some weird names, okay? So if I say this person, Tuba Pa, or any of the prince's names wrong, I'm gonna figure out some form of nicknames for them. There has to be nicknames, because it's just too hard trying to pronounce her name, besides, like, Tyson or something, or Benjamin, or whatever. So anyways, Tuba Pa, I want to call her just Tube, okay? Because that's easy. I'm just gonna call her fucking Tube until someone tells me a better pronunciation or nickname. So, Tube, this person, there's not really much known about this character at all. The one that wanted to make an alliance with Nich, the Tserriednich, I'm just going to call him Nich. He's the main prince that, Kurapika wants to go after because of the eyes and all that. I'm going to call him Nich. Anyways, this person, Tube, wants to make an alliance with Nich. And so, basically, it's like, hey, all the others, the top three, they're scummy, they're greedy, they have so much wealth or whatever, just different things like that. Basically, this person wanted to make an alliance with the other person a part of the top 5. And so she's like, hey, let's work together, let's take these others down. Now, getting back into the Spirit Beast design, the way the Spirit Beast looks, for instance, it looks like a frog on wheels. She is actually a scientist. There's not much known, but from what we do know is that she has wore an actual scientist suit, like, an actual lab suit. So this person is a scientist, wants to experiment, and when you think about experimenting, biology, scientists, whatever they do, anything they do, messing with chemicals, to just experimenting on patients or whatever, or creating medicine, basically, it explains the frog. Because when you think of, like, things like scientists, sometimes scientists will, dissect certain things. Dissect a frog, a pig, whatever. And so in this case, the frog might represent what scientists do, dissecting things. For instance, opening up a frog and then, dissecting it. And that's probably why the Spirit Beast looks like it does. Which I could see, since this person wants to make an alliance with Nich, I could see that she might be someone that may be in the realm of even dissecting humans. That could be a possibility. Maybe this person also dissects humans and experiments on them or whatever. So that could be something else to the Spirit Beast. Regardless, though, the reason why the Spirit Beast looks like it does is because the person is a scientist. So to move on to the next design. Now, this next design, Okay, so Niche's design, I want to actually save for last, because this is one of the crucial ones, the big ones that was introduced in this chapter, and I kind of want to save that one for last in the description department, because it's a very important one, and since he's one of the most important characters in this arc, I want to save him for last. So moving on to the next one, let's talk about the other prince, which is, looks like a monk. He's one of the top 3. He looks like a monk. His name, let me make sure I have his name. I don't want to mess up his name. His name is, Zhang? Zhang? I think that's how you say it. Zhang. So Zhang, he looks like a monk, and he has a spirit beast that looks like a will. It's like a weird will, and actually, looking up on certain things, there's actually something that is very similar to what his will looks like. It actually is the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path is related to Buddhism and all of that. I'll have that in the description if you want to go into that for yourself and look into that. I don't necessarily want to dive in and talk about the entire wiki page and all that, but I will have the, Noble Eightfold Path in the description, which would explain a little bit more about this man's personality, but also the design of it. It's very, I guess it fits the character's design, but also what, Togashi has done already in his series, especially when it came to Netero and his Buddha as well, when he used his, ability, his nin ability. I mean, this is something Togashi uses. He always uses, Buddhism and stuff in his manga, so this being also around, monks and stuff, and, Buddha, or, the Eightfold Path, it's definitely something that is very consistent with Togashi's writing. So, yeah, like I said, the description, or the link is in the description, and you can check this out and read more up on it to kind of understand this dude's personality a little bit more. There's not really much known about this character as well, so I'm not going to really dive into that. Now, this next one is the girl. Her name, let me make sure I say her name out, oh my god, these girls, okay, Camilla. Camilla? Hey, I want to call her Camilla. So, Camilla, basically, she has this, it's a dress. It looks similar to what she wears in terms of a dress on the lower half. And the top half, I don't know if that's eyeballs or if that's titties. I really don't fucking know. I don't see nips or anything, but because of the design with the dress and all that, it's obviously a dress on the lower half of the Spirit Beast of Camilla's, Spirit Beast design. It's a dress. And from what we found out, she's very greedy, and the only thing we really know about her is that she loves to wear expensive clothing. She changes her hairstyle, so she's someone that really relishes the fact of dressing pretty. And so the Spirit Beast having that aspect of her makes sense, having a dress-type outfit, but also the eyes, I don't know if that represents, eyeballs looking around always keeping watch of people because she doesn't trust anyone or whatever. She doesn't trust anyone around her. Or if those are breasts, which might symbolize something more along with her sexuality or something. Maybe what she's into. Regardless, though, whatever it is, her Spirit Beast definitely fits what we know thus far from her, besides the top half. The top half, like I said, it could be eyes, because since she's apparently greedy, according to what, Tube said in this chapter, most likely she, has those eyes. She's always watching her back because she doesn't want anyone stealing her wealth or stealing things from her. I mean, think about it. If you're a greedy person, when you think of someone that's greedy, if they own something, or they own something, they don't want someone else to grab it. It's okay, let's use a thing. Let's say cookies, okay? There's a big bowl of cookies. She has this bowl of cookies. She's sitting there eating them and all that, okay? Obviously, she can only eat maybe 3 cookies out of this bowl of 35 cookies, okay? She can only eat 3. For some reason, she can only eat 3 cookies. She can't eat more. She's stuffed. Well, even though she can't eat any more, she has someone next to her that's starving and dying. She still won't give these cookies over to anyone because she's greedy. She wants them for herself. Or if she accidentally sits something down, let's say she has this bowl of cookies and she doesn't want anyone to have them and there's people around, she might take the bowl of cookies into her room and lock the door. Put it on her bed, lock the door. And she might have a camera or something up or recording to watch if anyone comes in her room to steal the cookies. That's, maybe what those eyes represent. If those are eyes, that could be what it is. She's greedy, and she's always paying attention to those around her for no one stealing any of her shit. So, that could be why the design of that Spirit Beast is like that. For instance, she's just very, very greedy. Those eyes, she doesn't want to give up anything. So, yeah. Anyways, next to design, let's talk about, Benjamin? I think this dude's name's Benjamin. Let me make sure. Yeah, Benjamin. Yeah, it's Benjamin or whatever. So, this dude, we know he's kind of a brute. Benjamin also killed a lion as well, so Yeah, this man's a brute. He's someone that has a rivalry with, our main prince. That's the big important plot point of this arc for Kurapika. So, Benjamin, this man's design of his spirit beast being all muscular and that, it makes sense. I mean, the legs look very muscular. The abs, the arm design is very weird. I don't know how I feel about the arm design. It's more buggish than anything else, and I wonder why it's designed like that in terms of the arm-wise. I mean, for this man to be all about brute force, bronze, and stuff, I'm curious about, why the shape of it is. Now, when you go to the head part of it, okay. I really hope I'm not the only one that saw this, but it may be because I read Berserk recently, and I reread the chapter literally last night because I just like Berserk. But the design of this spirit beast straight up looks like a dick. And the legs look like a scrotum. Am I the only one that sees that? Okay, let me point this out. The legs that are big mass balls, okay? Those look like literal balls, the part of the scrotum. And then you have the dick. Literally the head looks like a dick. It's shaped like a dick. Now, it's a little bit deformed. It has some spikes on it and stuff in the mouth. But overall, it looks like a dickhead. No pun intended. But, I feel like the reason why it looks like that might be because of the type of person this is. Since this man is about bronze and strength, it might be because in a lot of cultures, and since this is more of a enclosed culture as well, like with this kingdom and stuff, it's a smaller kingdom, most likely that the reason why this dude has that, since he's all for strength and stuff, it might be because he believes in that. That's why it's shaped like a dick. Because in some countries, dicks are a sign of a powerful dude. I'm not even joking. And so maybe that's what that is for. The shape of it and all that, looking like a dick. So, yeah. I feel like Togashi's being very obvious with that, but, just to think this is in a shonen magazine for kids, just holy fuck, Togashi, you're fucked. You're fucked. But yeah, the design of that looking like a dick, I think it represents the man, being masculine. He is all about power and strength. He can literally wrestle a lion and kill it. So it's like he's thinking with his dick, I guess. There you go. He's like, my dick is powerful. So, there. Anyways, the next design, I'm trying to think of the next one. Okay, so the next one that pops up is, I'm scrolling through the pages if you're wondering. Okay, the next one is this, okay, I'm literally lost on this one. Let me remember this dude's name. Let me see his name again. This dude's name is, Luzarus? Luzarus or whatever. So Luzarus, this man, this spirit beast that he has, okay, I know I already said a dick before, the last beast looked like a dick, but this looks like a fucking smaller dick. This looks like a chode or something. It's just a flat dick. That's what it looks like. It legit looks like it. But then the antennas, it looks like a worm? Fucking, I don't fucking even know. I mean, I really have no fucking idea on this one. I mean, from what we know of him, he's kind of okay, what the others describe him, he's like a moron or whatever. He's kind of stupid or lazy and chill. And I guess because the way the creature looks, it might represent that side of him just wanting to chill. I mean, the man has a fucking pipe in his hand. I mean, you can see the fucking pipe in his hand. So, the man just chillaxes and chills. I mean, when he found out about Nin, the man was like, fuck it. I don't want to waste an entire year learning. And he's just lazy. He doesn't care. So, even though he's making a very bad move right now, regardless, that explains his personality. Maybe the reason why this creature looks like it does is because he's lazy? We don't even see its full body either. For all we know, the under part of it that we don't see could be shaped like a pipe or something to represent what he's holding, so who knows. Anyways, though, I don't really know much about this spirit beast. There's not much known about this dude either, so I can't really go into this one pretty deep. The next one is, this is Tyson? Yeah, it's the girl with the name Tyson for some, I don't fucking know. This is Togashi, but anyways, this prince that she has, her name's, Tyson. She has this spirit beast that has these little lizard type spirits coming out, and it's coming from this, like, weird anus thing. It legit looks like a fucking anus. Like, it's literally looks like it's shitting out these fairies on top of her head. Togashi, man. This man, I don't know, man. So, about what we know about this person, Tyson. So, obviously she's into cute things. She likes cute people. It explains why she has bodyguards that are cute and pretty and all that, and they're praising her. Basically, she has a certain style, what she likes, and I'm assuming the reason why the creatures look very cute, like the ones coming out, is because of her personality and what she likes. But the creature up top, which we don't see, which is like a big fucking anus just spewing these things out, might represent how she feels about herself. Now think about it, okay? Tyson as a character, we look at her, she's not too pretty. I mean, that's subjective, obviously, but she doesn't look too pretty at all. And maybe that's how she views herself. Maybe she views herself very hideous and ugly, and she's someone that needs constant reassurance to make it to where she feels like she's pretty or something, or she's beautiful, adorable, whatever. And maybe that's why she has people surrounding her, praising her, telling her she's cute or whatever. So basically, she knows she's ugly or not beautiful, but she surrounds herself in cute things to make herself feel better. She likes to lie to herself. So maybe the creature, probably looking heinous or looking like an anus, most likely might represent how she knows or feels about herself. Maybe she's aware she's not pretty, and that's why maybe that creature could possibly look completely distinctively different from what the creatures are coming out of it. Who knows? Maybe it also represents words as well. When she says certain things like, oh, you know, you're making me blush, or she's acting like she's cute or whatever, she's just saying out these cute things, but in reality, she's an ugly person inside. That also could be what that creature represents, the spirit beast. So, want to point that out. That's one of the big things we can get from her personality, from what we have seen thus far from these chapters of Hunter x Hunter. Now, the next prince, the next spirit beast I need to talk about is Cell. Now, this dude, Cell, he has, just looking at his personality, he's a slob. He's a slob, he likes women, beautiful women, and he likes to party. That's basically how he is. And his spirit beast looks like a big ball with mouths all over it. And most likely, the mouths represent, from what I'm assuming women, or how he loves to talk, most likely, or party, yelling and screaming, singing. That could explain why the spirit beast looks like it does. So Cell's overall spirit beast, it's just a ball of mouths, which is basically, I'm assuming, women mouths, and that's just a part of his personality, what he likes to do. So it's a big ball of perversion, I guess you can say. That's exactly what that spirit beast is. It's very ugly, heinous, and I think it perfectly fits with this dude's personality from what we could just see from this one panel alone. Just completely like a slob. I mean, you just see so much food and balls and all that over the place, so the man's a slob, and the spirit beast perfectly fits with him. So yeah, that's kind of understandable when it comes to that one. So, the next one, let's see. Okay, so yeah, the next one we get now into is Nich. Now, like I said, I know his full name is like Tserriednich or whatever, but I'm just gonna call him Nich. Basically, the dude, his spirit beast, oh my god. Okay, so before I get into the face opening up type stuff, let's just talk about the exterior part of the spirit beast design, okay? So let me back up a couple pages to kind of talk about it. Okay, so the exterior design of this spirit beast, for Nich's spirit beast, it looks like a horse. It's shaped similar to a horse. You have a horse neck. It's got, like, horse legs, horse design, tail, all of that. It looks like a horse, but a woman horse, like a half horse, half woman. And that's the first, like, general shape of it. But then, when you look at the features of this, you know, horse, or the spirit beast, you see a woman face, like a woman's face on it. And then you see, like, beautiful hair. And then you see actual, like, heels. You see heels. You see a collar. You see, like, a tail, which could be like a whip or something. If, you know, Togashi wants to go real fucked up, that could be a butt plug. But basically, you also see, like, spikes on the breasts, too, where the titties are. So, the entire shape of this creature is just perversion itself. This man is very, very twisted and fucked up. That just... having a beast like this, a spirit beast look like that, just goes to show you how fucked your head is. Because... a horse body, but has feminine aspects. Okay, so it's obvious from the design, if you look closely, that the creature, the spirit beast, is designed similar to a dominatrix. Now, don't ask me how I know these things, okay? But basically, the hills, to the spikes on the breast, to the collar around the neck, to the tail that looks like a whip, or butt plug, one or the other. Basically, it looks like this is modeled after a weird horse dominatrix woman. That's what it is. Now, what this might mean for Nich's personality, I really don't know. He's a very warped individual. From what we have seen from his personality, he loves killing, obviously. He loves collecting body parts of people, eyes, heads, all different assortments. He thinks it's artistic and stuff. And also, we do know that this man, he wants to have a very intellectual conversation with people, especially women. And if they're very smart, he likes that. But if they don't hold up or say what he wants or give him what he wants, like a very intelligent discussion, he'll just outright murder them. And he'll just, you know, start putting them down, which he did in the past when he brought two girls into like his room, and when he killed them when they weren't smart enough or whatever. He just murdered them. And so the man, he respects intelligence and probably strong women, I'm assuming. And in this case, I feel like that's what the design, the clothing, the attire represents. But also the design looking like a horse might also be like how he views women in general as well. So he's someone that wants a strong woman, but he doesn't want a woman that completely overpowers him. He wants someone he can still be stronger than. Like, he wants a strong one, but not one that is stronger than him, from what I can see. And also, let's go into the actual design of the final pages, like when it opens its mouth. So, first up close to its face, hella creepy. Like, hella creepy. Like, the mouth, just lava coming out of the mouth, all that, staring into one of our characters in this chapter, just hella fucking creepy. This spirit beast is nightmare fuel incarnate. Now, this creature looks at one of our hunters, that's a bodyguard to Nich, and this creature has a long neck that extended a lot longer than what we saw in the previous page when we saw the overall design. We could see that the creature from the side, the neck can expand, and also the creature has some form of, like, brace around the stomach. It reminds me of those old, like, braces women used to wear to kind of, like, you know, make it to where they look skinny. I don't know exactly what they're called or whatever, but it's basically similar to that. You could see how this, you know, spirit beast is wearing that to kind of decrease, you know, the look of her body, for instance, making her look skinnier when she really isn't, which goes to show, and it fits with overall the horse, because the horse, most likely, if it did not have that thing in the middle to kind of crush in the organs and body and all that, most likely be a very grotesque and fat-looking horse spirit beast. The reason why that is there is probably because of how he views women, how ugly women should probably dress themselves as well, most likely. So that's probably why that design is like it is. So anyways, talking about the inner part of the face. So this creature stares at one of our bodyguards, opens its mouth up, which, like, oh my god, like, it reveals something absolutely horrifying. When the mouth opens up, it reveals a bunch of jagged teeth, like you would see on a gator or something. And then you see this little boy or girl, I'm assuming girl because of how fucked this dude is, a little girl head inside of the spirit beast. And then it opens its mouth, and when you see these weird tentacle eyeball things come out, which is the representation of the tongue of this creature, when you see that, you automatically know to have a spirit beast even remotely look like that, you know you are fucked in the head. Like, you are beyond saving. That is a very demented spirit beast. Let's look at this and discuss it. So, from the design of the face, you see a bunch of eyeballs. You can see eyeballs where the, like the eyes are. It's a bunch of eyeballs, which I don't know if that's supposed to represent like a spider type look or whatever, but anyways, you see a bunch of eyeballs, eyelashes and stuff, and then you see more of a metal mechanical part where the jaw is, like it opens up like a big I guess clamp or something. And so it shows that what this creature is, like the outside face is just metal. It opened up to reveal what was inside, which was this little girl or boy, which has stitches all over the mouth, which is even more horrific. It's like, what the fuck? So, stitches on this mouth, which goes to show, like, how this dude probably likes to mutilate bodies. He likes to tamper with bodies, probably stitch them back together for art's sake and all that, because he's just so messed up. That's probably why the Spirit Beast has that, too, because of the stitches and all that, because of how the man likes to have body parts in jars and all that. Anyways, from what we could see here, in looking and trying to analyze the design of the face and all that, the way the outside shell is, it reminds me of probably how this man might view women. Remember what he did to those two girls, okay? What he did to those two girls, he murdered them and washed off the blood of them, and he was criticizing them because they weren't intelligent or whatever. Most likely, he doesn't like women, probably, like certain women that are obviously doesn't like unintelligent women, but he probably views women as a way of, like, they're an object or a machine or whatever, and that explains the face. Like, it's like a machine, like metal robot, and then what's inside is the innocent part, the terrified part that's no longer a metal robot or a machine. For instance, okay, it's like this, what the man said a while back. He likes art, he loves, the different body parts and stuff, he likes the expression people make right before they die and stuff. It's like an artistic style he enjoys. Most likely, he likes to get past the outer exterior of a person, that hard surface, and he wants to see what's deep within you, what darkness or, I guess loneliness is inside of you, and that's what this represents. That little boy or girl that came from out of the mouth most likely represents what he wants to see in women. For instance, he wants to see a weaker side of them, which could perfectly express this as well, because if you look at the outside appearance, he wants... Obviously, you can see a strong woman. It has a dominatrix type style and, entire attire all over the horse and all that. And so, inside of it, you see this little girl or boy, which might be what he wants. He wants to break maybe strong women. That could be it, too. So... oh, that makes perfect sense, my thing. Like, yeah, he probably wants to do that. He probably wants to break strong people or strong women because that's what he wants. He wants a strong woman that he could just tear down and destroy and make them feel like they're, useless or can't do anything, which that would explain this perfectly. So, yeah, overall, I say this dude... oh my god, like, he has the aspects to be a very, very terrifying villain. Depending on where Togashi wants to take him, because so far from what we've seen from his character, his characterization, all that, this man is one of the most evil characters we have seen thus far in the series. Yes, Hisoka's pretty fucked up in some ways and all that, and some others are too, but this man is just the meaning of evil. What he has done, what he's still doing, and the way his personality is just summarized in that Spirit Beast, oof, it's revolting. So, let's back up and let's talk about the earlier portions of this chapter. So, one of the big things about this chapter I want to get into is the fact that a bunch of the bodyguards, they start discussing different things about, like, oh, so that thing on the radio we heard about Ninbeast attacking or whatever, Kurapika made an error. He fucked up. And this is going to come back to bite him pretty badly. He probably didn't think about it too much, but his fuck-up, in turn, caused it to where all the princes that have the will to learn, they're going to want to know what Nin is, and they're going to get Nin abilities. And so, Kurapika, which wants to go and assassinate this dude, get back, his, clan's eyes, it's not going to be as easy once this man learns Nin. And now that he made that fuck up and said on the radio about Ninbeast and stuff, and now that the princes are finding out and they're going to be learning Nin, this makes the situation even more complicated. So right now, Kurapika made a very, very big error. He fucked up very badly. And so now a lot of the princes, either they're going to disregard and say, I don't want to learn it. They're lazy, for instance, like one of the ones that I don't even understand, the Spirit Beast. Or, we have Nitch, which wants to learn Nin because he wants to learn everything. And because of his personality, he wants to do everything. He wants to be capable of everything. Then, obviously, he's going to want to know Nin. So, this dude, straight up, is going to be learning Nin, thanks to Kurapika. The very dude that Kurapika wants to kill is going to be learning Nin now thanks to his fuck-up, which is, oh, man. You couldn't have fucked up in any better way, Kurapika. You couldn't have. So, yeah. Anyways, with that being explained, I'll get back in the Nin section in 1 minute. Let's talk about the actual characterization to more of how the princes are supposed to fight and also the Spirit Beast. So from what we found out from the actual king, the king of the country, not the princes, but the king explains, I'm actually just going to quote him, okay? The guardian Spirit Beast, born from the pod, are all imbued with the same rule-like instincts. Spirit Beast may not kill one another. That's number 1. Number 2, Spirit Beast may not directly attack a human whom another Spirit Beast is protecting. So, for instance, the king, since he has a Spirit Beast, the Spirit Beast of the princes cannot attack the king, from my understanding. The Spirit Beast cannot attack other hosts. That is not a thing. That cannot be done. They cannot go out of their way to attack another host. So, if any of the princes die, it's not the prince dying from the Spirit Beast, it's actually the, I guess the people around the prince that's actually causing them to die. For instance, the Spirit Beast could cause it to where it'll maybe turn someone against the prince and cause that person to kill the prince. That's a thing. But overall, the beast won't directly attack a prince that's a host. So there is still a possibility one of the, actual Spirit Beasts can go out of their way to manipulate someone and then cause them to kill one of the princes, but they won't directly do it. So they will never use their power on one of the princes. So that's something we found out. So at the very least, the prince doesn't have to worry about it. None of the princes have to worry about that, but they do have to worry about the people around them. Now, another thing we found out, apparently the origin of what led to this pot being created in the first place. So this pot was actually created thanks to the country, the ancestor of the country that started this all, like the ancient ancestor of these princes and the actual king right now. The ancestor had a bunch of countries surrounding him, and it was in a time where there was a bunch of rulers, and all the countries were just forming together to make one super country, basically. And the leader of, his country, his ancient ancestor, did not want to give up his country. So he created the pot, which in turn would cause it to where these Spirit Beasts would come about, and they would be given to, his descendants. And the descendants would compete to who would be the rightful ruler of the kingdom. And which in turn saved his kingdom, and that's been an ancient tradition to this very day. For instance, the kingdom has, flourished thanks to this ritual with the pot, and the princes always going at each other fighting. So this is something that's been going on for a very, very, very long time. Now, this still makes me question exactly how exactly this pot was created, because it's a very mysterious pot with a lot of power and potential, so I still want to know more details. But at the very least, though, Togashi explained the fact of how the pot came about and why it was there in the first place. So it wasn't like this pot drifted from the Dark Continent and then they grabbed it. It wasn't like that. The actual ruler of the country, the ancient ruler, made the pot. Maybe with some resources, maybe from the Dark Continent, but overall, the pot was made, and this has been a tradition passed down every time that there's a next selection for the king. Now, anyways, from what we found out is this ship is a big offering. All 200,000 people on this ship is actually offerings to the ritual. For instance, the Nin Beast or the Spirit Beast. That's what this is about. So, in fact, this voyage that's going on right now is not to get to the Dark Continent. For the king and all that, and the princess, is not about that. What they actually are really doing is offering up everyone on the ship to the slaughter. That's what this is about. So, damn. I don't think that's going to work out too well, though, when you get to, the Phantom Trope and all that on the ship. So, that's probably not going to be too good for, the Spirit Beast and also the princes. But for now, though, that's pretty fucked. So, the entire point of this trip and why he joined in the first place was to have all these offerings. That's a little bit dark, but okay. It just lets us know that definitely a lot of people are going to die in this. I mean, we already see a lot of body count happening in this chapter alone. So, before I get into the conversation between the two bodyguards discussing Nim, let's talk about Hulkenberg. So, Hulkenberg, he walks to his room, and basically, he sees a bunch of dead people all around. He doesn't really know what's going on. He's like, what is this? What's happened here? And he doesn't really know. And, well, from what looking at it, we don't really know if these people actually are dead. I mean, You don't see blood, but you could assume they're dead because they're unconscious and not moving. But I don't know. We don't know how some of these spirit beasts work because their abilities can be very varied because of the personality of the individual. But anyways, everybody's unconscious when he gets back, Hulkenberg. And as we know, Hulkenberg was the one that didn't want to be a part of the selection at all. He did not want to be a part of it. He wanted to back the fuck out. He's always been opposed to what his father wanted in the overall government of the kingdom. He wanted to be completely different. And so him backing out may be the cause of this, so let me explain. As you know, since his personality has always been someone that didn't want to go along with what his father wanted, or the government, maybe his spirit beast is what did this. Maybe his spirit beast is actually what attacked these people. Put him out of commission. Because, remember, the spirit beast, they follow, or they have a personality similar to the host. Like, their personality is determined. So if you're an evil person, obviously the spirit beast is going to be evil. But if you have a personality who wants to stay out of things or be, secluded and be by yourself, the spirit beast might try to make that to where its host is also secluded. So it might have took all of these guys out. Maybe his host, or his parasite, his spirit beast is what attacked all of these individuals. And it's thanks to his personality is what caused this. Now, another thing, too, we need to look at is also something that needs to be mentioned. Hulkenberg, even though he seems to be very noble and he's a guy with a clear mind and all that, and he doesn't want to be a part of the bloodshed, he does have something very dark about him. As you know, if you look back, and I'm going to remind you if you forgot because it has been a while, Hulkenberg has a connection to Nitch. Now, FYI, Nitch is the guy I was talking about earlier that's very fucked up. He's the guy that's twisted. He's a psycho. This man loves killing people, and how he views women is probably very fucked too. This man is actually friends with him. Like, you have to, Hulkenberg is like, the best brother I have is Nitch. I feel like he can understand me and I can understand him. It's like, that's the only person he really cares about or agrees with when it comes to his family. And so out of all the brothers that Hulkenberg likes, it's the one that's the most fucked up. So, that probably says something about this man's personality. He probably has a very despicable and dark side to him that's probably hidden behind the exterior. Think about it. So, just wanted to point that out. Anyways, besides that, let's get into the conversation with, the two bodyguards. So, one of the bodyguards is, Feta. Actually, the pronunciation it says is Tela. Tela. You know what? I'm gonna call her Tela. Fuck it. Okay, so Tela, she actually has a casual conversation with one of the bodyguards. And I just quickly want to say that I really appreciate what Togashi did here. I mean, much of the conversation you can quickly summarize. Basically, these two bodyguards are talking about how they feel about the king, how they're not perfectly falling in line with the king and agree with everything he's doing. They're not, blind to what he's doing, but also, they don't want to teach this man, Nin. They don't want to teach him, but it's probably going to come to the point to where they need to teach him, and they need to figure out what they need to say. And so, much of the conversation is these two bodyguard characters that honestly were recently introduced that really doesn't have much to them. They don't have much characterization or anything. This chapter focused a lot on them, which probably shows how important they might be to this arc, but also how good of a writer Togashi is in general. Because if there's one thing Togashi knows how to do, it's how to write. And he can really make characters very important. Like, every character in Hunter x Hunter usually is important. Usually. They are very important. And so in this case, for Togashi to give the spotlight to these two characters for so long in this chapter, letting us see kind of how the personality is, how they talk with each other, how they view the prince, Nitch and all that, and how they should handle the situation of teaching him Nin, it shows how they are and how they might be important, but also how good of a writer Togashi is. And I just really like this aspect. So, to save a very long rambling moment, I'm just going to summarize it. Basically, they come to the conclusion that they need to kind of stunt the growth of Nitch's, Nin unlocking. For instance, as we know from a long time ago earlier in Hunter x Hunter that was established, if someone tries to learn a Nin type that they're not good with, that's going to stun their growth. They might not ever become good at Nin if they try to learn a type that obviously they're not good with at all. The opposite of what they actually excel at. So, what they're planning on doing is if they have to teach him Nin, just stunning his growth to where they teach him Nin that he can't really use well. Which in turn causes it to where this dude can't use evil Nin. From what we know when it comes to Nin and abilities and all of that, Nin, you get your ability of Nin thanks to your personality as well. Very similar to Spirit Beast. because of how this man is and his personality to what he does and all of that, the man most likely, if you gain Nin abilities, his abilities would be beyond fucked. Probably even worse than his spirit beast. So, to stop that, they want to stun this man's growth. They don't want to teach this man properly. So that's why they're going to be going about it that way. So that was the entire gist of the conversation. But also, I want to point out the fact, and I feel like it's not going to be that easy. Because for Togashi to go out of his way to have these characters say that, like, hey, you know, just teach him the opposite type and remind us of stuff like this, I feel like this dude, Nich, is probably going to be like a specialist. He's going to be someone that can use all types of Nin. Somehow, I feel like that's going to be a thing. I don't know why, but somehow I feel like the dude is going to be able to learn all types, which in turn is going to cause it to where they're going to be fucked. This man's going to learn evil Nin regardless. That is a possibility. So, I think that is about it. Oh, yeah, actually, there's one more thing I want to talk about. So, Taylor, let me make sure I'm saying your fucking name right. Taylor? Yeah, Taylor. So, Taylor, or Theta, or Phala, basically, Taylor, she talks with the Prince Nich at the end of the chapter, and let's remember what I said earlier about the man Spirit Beast. The man Spirit Beast's exterior looks like a strong woman, but very grotesque and ugly. Since the dude most likely wants to break strong women down and then open up their innocent side and probably ruin it, he might try to do that with this character here, Taylor. He might try to rip open her strong exterior, break her down, and then kill her. That could be what he tries to do. Because from looking at her personality and what she's doing, it does seem like she is a strong-willed female character. And I could see since she's interacting with the prince and he has had interactions with her and it seems like he actually respects her somewhat, I feel like that is what's going to happen. She's probably going to die. I don't think it's going to be a situation like Meruem, where Meruem, you know, became good, and how Komugi helped him out. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think this man is just going to be someone that wants to help her out, be nice to her, but then he just wants to break her down, and then that's about it. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that's everything I need to cover when it comes to this chapter of Hunter x Hunter. Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this chapter. If I got anything wrong, please correct me in the comments below. And I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.